Welcome back into Sideline Stories podcast. This is episode 8 with Ryan Oliver and myself, Connor Fenlon. Thank you to all who have listened to our first 7 episodes. We have surpassed over 1,000 views and listens, and we both really appreciate it. Tonight, we are joined by Siena graduate of 2017, a CBI champion, an Israeli League Cup winner, a new father, and currently playing in Lithuania, Marquis Wright. Sorry, I had to do the Scott Noel voice. A little shout out.
Yeah, that used to be the thing.
Definitely appreciate your time. Thanks for joining us, Marquis.
Thank you.
First, right out of the bat, obviously you talked a little bit before we started recording, but what's the biggest difference you've seen from last year playing overseas and this year playing overseas due to COVID?
It's a big difference. Just even getting over here, it was actually easier getting here, I feel like. But once I got here, it was really tough for the first 2 weeks, maybe, because we had to quarantine, and the place that I had to quarantine in was not good at all. It's really like I was living outside, but don't want to really talk about that. Last year, it was a lot more smoother. But this year is good now. That's all. That's what I can say. It's much better now, and it's no more problems. It was hard to really eat. I couldn't go anywhere for the first 2 weeks. And my test was negative. So it's like I still have to quarantine after my test being negative. Is like, why? But moved on from quarantine. Now I can go out. It's good food here. It's a nice area. Lithuania is where I'm at. So see how it goes the rest of the season.
Yes, sir. Keith, appreciate you coming on, man. And you hit it right in the head, man. It's crazy times we're in. I know you had gone home in America. Talk about your COVID experience. I feel like you might have had the busiest COVID experience. You became a father, became a homeowner, you signed a contract. Like, it didn't stop you at all. Talk about that experience.
Coming home was tough because I didn't even think I was going to make it out of France.
Nice.
But I think I just made it. And once I got home, it was just like COVID didn't really hit me once I got home. Like it didn't feel real. Like, man, I'm going to go out, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. But it was more serious in the States than it was overseas. So once I got home, it was stay in the house, go grocery shopping, get everything we can to stay in the house. But then again, it was so hard to actually stay in the house because of the pregnancy and everything going on with my child. So it's like we had to go out and get different things, I feel like. So it was tough because then we didn't want to bring our daughter into this crazy world with all of this going on. But it's like we have to, and we have to make it work. So we sat down, and because I was in my mom's house, and we was thinking like, we're not gonna have any room for our child in one room, basically, because it's my mom and my grandparents in the house. So we was planning on buying a house next summer, 2021. And so we sat down and we just thought about it like, maybe we should try to buy because the market is lowering, and we said, let's give it a try. So we hit up our realtor and got the process going. And it was a tough process because we were trying to, I think we only had like 2 months because we wanted to move in before our daughter came. So the process was a long process, but short, because I done talked to a lot of people who say that their house experience, like their process of buying a house, takes 6 months plus. So we actually got lucky, and the day that we signed the contract to becoming homeowners June 19th, and I want to say a week. We gave it about a week to like paint, get a little bit of furniture and everything. And on the 27th, the first night we was actually got to sleep in our house, like on our couch. We didn't even have a bed yet. The first night, we didn't even get a full night. It was like 2 hours. We went to sleep around like 11, and around like 1, Cheyenne's water broke. So we was off to the hospital. So it was a crazy experience, but it was definitely like it was a blessing in disguise. COVID actually.
Not a lot of people can have those kind of stories, right? Bringing in obviously a child with all the COVID and buying a house, but the question I have is, with being a new father, has there been any major adjustments by being a new father and playing overseas?
No, it's actually better, and it keeps me more active rather than just being in the house, in the apartment, and not really getting out, going places. With my family being here is easier, I want to say, because I want them to have the best experience. So getting out and about is the best thing for all of us. But by myself, I know in Hungary, I was by myself, and I didn't really like get out and do anything. So it was more like a miserable time. And because of the place where I was living at, the city I was living, it was like a village. So, but now it's still like a small town, but getting out, like I said, and exploring different things, different food, different malls. It's actually nice out here, and it helps me rather than just being stuck in the apartment. But adjusting to fatherhood, I feel like once you if you have that significant other that you guys bonding is great, it's easier to raise a child, I feel like, rather than being a single parent trying to raise a child.
Nah, absolutely. That's definitely true. I want to turn the page a little bit. Been wanting to ask you about this for quite some time. So I forget when it was, but I'm on Twitter scrolling, and I see Marquis Wright tweeting at Josh Hart, and they're kind of going back and forth on Twitter and a little Twitter exchange. And then I saw some other tweets that supported what you were saying to him, that you won, you have more points, you balled, and yet he was still talking about something. I don't know. Talk us through that moment, what happened in the game and what happened on Twitter.
So on Twitter, I don't even get on Twitter like that anymore. So one of my close friends actually hit me up and said, "Did you see what he said on Twitter?" And I don't like getting into that stuff.
Yeah.
But it's like, let me take a look. And it was, I mean, what they were saying, I really don't think, I mean, on certain teams it might be true, but for my team in high school my team was a public school, his team was private, and we beat him. And it's like we beat him by, I think, 15 plus points. I had 34 and probably like 7 and 8, like assists and rebounds, something like that. But it's like you gotta. I'm talking facts rather than him saying what could have been done. And then for him for when I say something to him, and he tweets back and say, "You played." Josh knows me. Like, he knows me. Like, we done played against each other since we were, I'm gonna say, like 11 and up. And then I played with him when I was like my last season of AAU.
Okay.
So it's like you know me, like,
Yeah.
and for you, I think it's just the NBA hype that for someone like me to come at him and speak facts is just something he didn't like. So I feel like he had to bring that NBA clout out.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
that's really that. But everyone knows the facts about that game and about the way I could play, and I don't even get into that.
No, it's smart. Handle it inside the lines. That's the win-win.
Yeah.
You can handle it always, but being overseas, a lot of people, most teams can only have a certain amount of Americans. Sometimes 2, sometimes 3. Is that any added pressure knowing that at any time, you could be let go?
Sometimes it is, because I'm actually the only American now, so it's a lot of pressure because they want the most out of you. But at the same time, I've been like under a lot of pressure throughout my career, high school, college, and now. And it doesn't really affect me. It's just because I know what I have to do. But at the end of the day, you can still be doing what you're supposed to do and still be gone for no reason, really. And that's the part that sucks about it, but it's nothing you can control. So, and I was always taught to control what you could control.
Yeah, that's the truth. That's the motto that everyone should adapt. And let's talk about kind of piggyback on that. You love the big moment at Siena, a couple times where you hit game-winning shots. Your first game there overseas, they go to you down the stretch. You were able to get a game-winning basket. Talk about how you love being in that moment and the ball in your hands.
I feel like that's the best moment for me, because it's that's where that you get that pressure off your back. If you can hit big shots or just down the stretch of the game make big plays, I feel like that's just another chip off your shoulder. But it's fun to me, actually, just knowing that my team relies on me to, or at least give me a chance to even take those shots or make big plays. And it's been for years now that coaches would say, we want the ball in your hands at the end of the game, and really just trusting me to make a play. So it's really, it's just a great feeling just being that player and knowing that I can do it.
Yeah, they're still talking about the St. Bonaventure's game winner still these days. Throwing it up. Some people said you weren't even looking at the basket.
So the thing about that shot is I actually was looking at the basket, and I watched that shot go in, but I did try to draw contact, and he moved back, so it kind of threw me off. It kind of threw me off balance. So when I went to go take the shot, it looked a little awkward, but once I released it, I watched the ball go in, and we won that game. And that was our first game, right? That was the first.
I think it
was
was
like third.
You had a scrimmage or something. But
yeah, because Albany
first game. Yeah.
So maybe like the second or third game, I think. But yeah, that I watched that go in.
That's one way to make a name for yourself as a freshman, coming in the Times Union Center against obviously a big rival in St. Bonaventure. But that, as Ryan said, you're always known for the clutch performances. But what would you say what is your favorite part about the professional game, versus college or high school?
My favorite part, like just throughout in the game.
Yeah, there's more obviously shot clocks, different, more contact, more freedom of movement, less, you can play more one-on-one kind of thing.
Right. I do like the 24-second shot clock because it's more so of a fast-paced game, which I like to play. rather than running a long play because you don't even have that much time. Once you get the ball across the court, it might be 18 seconds, sometimes 16, depending on how the team, if they press, if they play back. So most of the time when you come across half court is 16, 14 seconds. So now it's a quick play that most coaches will have me run like a horn side or like a fist up, which is just a screen. So it's like it's my game. Rather than having 35 in college. Yeah, and 35 is long. And then certain coaches, they want you to run that 35 seconds of your plays, and that's just not my style. I like to go up and down, and a lot of leagues out here, and a lot of, I want to say all of the leagues that I've played in so far is up and down. So it's just it's easy. Not I don't want to say easier, but it's better for me, and I like it more. But it does take a lot of time to adjust to the way coaches want you to play over here. That's the only part I don't really like, because they want you to play like in European guard when that's not me. So it's not like controlling me on the court, but it's just making me think different. And I had to get used to that. But now I'm kind of used to it, like coming over here. Once I get a feel of the coach for like the first couple of weeks, it's kind of easy to work with.
Nah, from our end, it looks like you've adjusted well. I mean, I think at every level you've won. In high school, you won a state championship, regional championship. In college, we got a CBI, put a banner up. And then obviously overseas, in your time in Israel, you got a championship. And what people probably most don't know about you is like how personal you would take when we did lose at Siena. Like you was like, I don't even care about my stats. I just want to win. Talk about your will to win and how that's kind of been instilled in you since you were a small youngin.
Yeah, it's always been like that since I was young. No matter if it was basketball on the court, football off the court, playing the PlayStation, anything. I hated losing it. It could be, what do you call it? Tic-tac-toe. Like any little game, anything competitive, I never wanted to lose. And if I did, I would be mad. So just growing up and having that mentality it carried on to high school, college, and now. And like you said, when we was in college and we lost, it's like,
man,
it hurt like bad. And we was actually like my sophomore year, we lost a lot because we had so many different problems throughout, not off the court, on the court, and it just didn't get us to where we wanted to when we could have been a great team. And that year kind of, I don't want to say like losing, it just became a habit, but it's like that's all we was doing, and it kind of took away me getting mad after a loss, if that makes sense. But at the same time, I still had it in me, like I hate losing, but that's all that was happening. So it's like, wow, like can we get a win? Like, you know how that goes, but no, I definitely hate losing at anything. But and like these last two games, like I said, we had them beat, and we beat ourselves, so that really hurt. But move on to the next one and take it game by game after this. So
you gotta like that attitude. You know, a lot of people sometimes guys just, all right, we lost. You know, who cares? I got 30. You know, that's what's the most important. But to have that mindset it puts you in another position. Kind of moving roles. What was it about Siena that made you feel like that's where you wanted to go compared to the other places you were looking at?
So I really didn't have that many places I was looking at because I committed to Loyola early. So I already knew Patsos, I already knew Greg Manning and Coach Luke from
Uncle Luke.
Loyola. So once that, what'd you say?
Uncle Luke.
Yeah. Yeah, so I knew them from Loyola. And when I didn't know all of them went. I knew Passos was leaving and going to Siena. So when I heard that, I was kind of stuck because like I said, I didn't have any offers for real because I signed so early. But I could have took a visit to Maryland, which was one of my dream schools to go to, but I didn't have my releasing time. But I also think that situation was kind of fluke. So I just didn't even get into that. My father didn't want me to get into that. So once I heard Pastos going to Siena, my godbrother was already, I think he was already committed there.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so I was like, all right, we've been playing together my whole life. Why not move on to college and play together and continue the journey? But I don't know what happened with that. Like once I came to visit the school, I'm like, I like the campus. He already here, so like, why not? I knew the coaches. I knew I would be able to play a lot. And I guess when I came, he wanted to play point guard, and his father didn't want us to like, I guess, battle for a spot, which they met with Patsos. Patsos told him we'll switch off, but I was going to be mainly the one. And so I guess he decommitted and went, I think UCF, somewhere in Florida. But I stayed, and it was a nice 4 years for me.
Yeah, talk about your relationship where since day one, like I still remember on your visit, you came to play pickup with us. And I was like, oh, he about to be our point guard? I was like, I'm about to get my hands ready. Like, he passing the ball. Like, it's all love. But just talk about first day on campus, balls in your hands, point guard. Talk about that trust factor that they put in you and to run the offense, because most freshmen don't get that opportunity.
Yeah, it was definitely a blessing to be able to come in and start as a freshman and play, 30 minutes plus?
37, 36.
Yeah. So it was, like I said, definitely a blessing. And knowing that I had great teammates around me that had my back, even if things weren't going good, as you would know. But it was really my team that kept me really like my head on straight and staying focused throughout my 4 years. Because you was with me, 2 years? Three. So everybody that was with us for them 3 years, and then for my last year when you were gone, it was the team that really kept me into it, and everyone trusted me, so that made it even easier. Even if the coach didn't trust me at times, I knew my team had my back, so that was the most important part, because we're the 5 on the floor, or the 5 players on the floor that's supposed to really get the job done. So that helped a lot. And just for Passos even giving me that chance to do that, it was just a great opportunity.
Yeah, talking about being thrown in there right away, getting the ball. Talk about guys like Levon and Javion, who also were thrown right in there. All 3 of you were thrown in right away from day one. What was that like?
That was nice. It was 4 or 5 freshmen that came in, but us 3, we played a lot. And I think we were kind of the only team that really had 3 freshmen that started and played a lot throughout all 4 years. And for us to be together all 4 years, that helped a lot. We built our chemistry really in the first year, but just going throughout the years, really the connection between us was great. And that's something you rarely see. 3 freshmen starting and playing a lot and getting the job done.
Nah, that's true. And obviously it all led that first year to our CBI championship.
Right.
Hung a banner forever, but just talk about that experience and just what you think playing in the postseason and winning that championship did for the rest of your career at Siena.
And see, losing to not make it into the NCAA or the NIT.
For sure.
That was even more like, man, I don't want to play in nothing else. But we gave it a try. CBI, we end up winning. So the rest of our career, it was like, we don't want that anymore.
Yep.
We want to take the next step up. But unfortunately, it didn't happen. But I mean, it is what it is. We still had a great 3 years after that. And I felt like we should have won the MAC. Let me see. I want to say 2 years. So my junior and senior year, we should have won. Sophomore year, like I said, that was one of the craziest years I ever played for a team.
We still had a chance. That's the crazy part. We still had a chance.
Exactly. So
2 possessions versus Iona. I won't forget that, man.
You said which one?
2 possessions versus Iona.
It was Iona almost every time.
Every time. It was every time.
It was every time. Iona every time. And I don't know why we couldn't get them, but every time. But it was, I mean, college, I miss those days, actually.
You know, obviously talking about your experiences playing in the postseason. Talk a little bit about the experiences going on the road to places like Wisconsin, Duke, and Kansas. Obviously, you played great in the game at Kansas, we all remember. But talk about a little bit about those experiences.
The Duke in Wisconsin, that was a mini documentary that was actually set up, and till this day you can still watch. I think it's on YouTube. I think.
Around like
and
YouTube.
Yeah, but that was a great experience. Really fun to actually get to be on a private jet, and it was just different for me. That was my first time on a private jet, and seeing how that life is, stepping into a big arena the next day, playing against Duke and Cameron Indoor. That's it looks bigger on TV, but when you get in the gym, it's small, but it's packed. I know that game was sold out. And when Grayson Allen dunked the ball, the game stopped. It was no timeout, no nothing. And all the floor was just shaking. And that was probably one of the biggest, well, I want to say loudest gyms I played in. And then even though the results didn't turn out how we wanted to, but I still had a good game and barely played because of foul trouble. Who knows what could have happened if I wasn't in foul trouble, because I think I was 4 for 5 from 3 that game. And I mean, not being in the game because of fouls, it's like I could have did more. But going on to Wisconsin, that game was kind of a slow game for us as a team. But just getting that experience to play there was definitely great. And Kansas, that was another gym that was crazy packed and loud. And just playing against players that I've been playing against, that I played against growing up, AAU. Playing against them at that level it was different. Just knowing like, all right, now we older, so I'm gonna really show y'all now, because I would always play up in AAU, so they was always older than me. But that was a great experience too. Got a lot of respect after that game from their fans, and it was a great experience overall, playing teams like that throughout my college career.
Yeah, no, those are the stories and the games that, even though it didn't go our way, playing in those environments, national televised games. Shoot, even down in Orlando when we played Memphis,
Yeah,
it was
Memphis.
number 11. Like those are games we won't ever forget. Talk about how playing with 3 other 1,000-point scorers was, including yourself. So I think it was only Siena and North Carolina. I think it was like the only 2 teams in the country with 4 1,000-point scorers.
Yeah.
Like, talk about how like you had dudes, where if you had dudes who could score the ball, you yourself can score the ball, and just talk about with so many weapons. And even like we haven't mentioned Nico, but he was right there at 1,000 much as well. Like, talk about that, having those weapons on your team.
It helped me a lot because I love to pass the ball. So if I can pass the ball and know you're gonna finish, hands down, that's all I need. But that's another accomplishment from us as a team that a lot of teams never had. Like you said, us and I think North Carolina, but that, I mean, and then Brett coming back for his 5th year helped a lot too. And I mean, those experiences was definitely times to remember. And I think it set a high standard at Siena. I feel like 4,000-point scores. I don't think that might ever happen again. To be honest, I mean it can, but that's really hard for 4 players to actually get it, and then one coming close in 2 years.
Yeah, and I think Nico in 2.5 years.
So like that's crazy. But I mean, I think that's just a blessing to even have 3 other people on your team that can do that, and great other players on your team who maybe didn't even play but was great support on your team, and you always need that. So Siena was definitely times to remember.
Yeah. What would you say your favorite part about playing at Siena was?
I want to say home games. Home games was lit. Like, I want to say every home game was lit, and we were winning at home. Our goal was not to lose at home, of course, and not to lose at all. But our home games, I think we really protected our home court. So home games was definitely the best part of Siena for me.
So, Keith, Siena fans can definitely remember when watching US Siena that you will always come out in special socks. So talk about your sock collection and how I think it was voted second to Ron Oliver, like something crazy like that. I don't know.
Second time.
talk about your fascination with socks and you wearing them during games.
So I can't even do that now. I gotta keep it simple, white or black. So I had to go out and buy me some new socks. But I don't know. It was I never really liked plain socks. Mm-hmm. So getting and then the stance socks that came out, that was kind of new. And once I seen them, and I remember that one time we went in the store and I only got, mind you, the socks was 70 cents, 80 cents.
Yep.
And I only got 2 because you and who else?
Emo.
You and emo. They took all the socks. How you take y'all didn't leave, and y'all know I love socks. They didn't leave. They left me two of the two pair they already had. So I didn't even have no different. I didn't even get the chance to get no different pair of socks. But I don't know. I just like the different styles, the different colors, and really standing out on the court rather than having the same shoes or the same white or black socks. I don't know. That was just a different style that I had playing in college, because high school I don't think I could wear crazy socks. But I don't know. College came and they was letting me wear them, except one game at UAlbany. They told me I had to have all white socks, so I had to turn my socks inside out. But I don't know. I'm crazy about the different types of socks. But now I'm back to plain black and white.
I knew what, when you were playing there, I knew every time I'd watch you, whatever shoe you had on was the newest Under Armour. So I was like, okay, those must be the new ones coming out this week or something. Because how many shoes do you think you would say you got at Siena?
A lot. I'm not gonna lie, a lot. I can't even count. But there was only a couple of times where I would get different pair and stand out shoes, because I would have to do it on the sneak. I would have to go in the office and tell them, like, yeah, let me get a different pair because I need those pair to go with these socks. Like,
it means a couple times a month.
And look, after I get the shoe or know what shoe I'm getting out, that's when I'll go out and try to find me some socks to go with it.
That's funny. So Keith, talk about how during college you got the chance to play overseas twice during your 4-year career. Obviously, as a group, we went down to Montreal.
Right.
That was before your freshman year, or
that was before my freshman year.
And then you went on the tour with Coach Manny. Where'd you guys go again?
My junior year, I went to Croatia.
Talk about those experiences, and has that helped you? Did that help you further at Siena, or has it helped you further along overseas? Like, talk about those.
I feel like that helped me in both aspects of playing in college and overseas, because Montreal, I think I got a taste of like overseas play, but it was with our team, like our full team that was going into Siena. And that helped us build chemistry early, playing against different styles of play, rather than just regular college basketball. It was different, and it helped us a lot, and it helped me a lot to adjust to how they play over there. And then going to Croatia, it was only me and Kenny Wormley, so it was only two of us from Siena, and then we played with other like college players, like two from, I guess, like different schools. So it wasn't a team, like it wasn't Siena as a team, it was just two of us. So that helped me more of like overseas, because that was like playing in Croatia. They had like, I know one team we played, they was like the Spurs, and they blew us out. And it's like, this is different basketball out here, but you know, I had people on my team from other schools that only shot the ball, didn't pass. So, it's regular, I want to say like American style basketball that we were trying to play, or that some people were trying to play and get theirs to prove what they could do. And it just didn't work against teams like that, because it's more controlled over here, passing the ball, working the shot clock, making the defense move. So it was different. And well, we experienced that fast, but that was the first game. But we went 3-1 actually. So it was a great experience. Like I said, for me, going into college and getting ready for overseas.
I know we touched on a little bit earlier about, the faster game overseas, 24-second shot clock. Is there any part of your game you had to change, playing overseas?
The only thing I would say is, but they changed the rule back. My first year, it's like if you catch the ball and rip and dribble,
Yeah.
it was a travel. It was a travel. So you had to put the ball down first and then take your step. Like that was the only thing I really had to adjust, because when I catch it, I'm so quick to catch it and go. And they, like, my coach was telling me, like, you can't do that over here. And I'm just like, so how am I supposed to, like, what am I supposed to do? Like, how am I supposed to get past my player? So I had to adjust to putting the ball down and then making a move, or putting the ball down and then taking a step. That was the only real difference in coming from, like, home and then playing overseas. But they changed the rule the next year after that. Like, they changed it back to where you could do it. So it really wasn't nothing that I had to adjust to besides that.
Yo, I struggled with that too my first year over there. I was like,
It was too
what? It
hard.
didn't
I
make any
got
sense.
so many travel calls my first year.
It didn't make any sense at all. I was like, this is terrible, but you have to adjust, right? And
Right.
Speaking of adjusting, let's talk about you as a three-point shooter. It's like your first year, you're a decent shooter, but as time went on, you became one of the better shooters on the team, if not your last year, the best shooter. Talk about your attention to detail and your work ethic that went into perfecting that shot, even off the bounce, because it just opened up your game so much more.
Extra work. I know I was going in the gym in the morning before practice. After practice, I would shoot, and then later on that night, I would put up shots. And it was just like, growing up, I was never really like a shooter. So that's what I had to work on, because everyone knew I could drive and get to the basket and finish. So a lot of people were saying, if I get a shot, like a deadly shot, then it'll be really hard to guard me. So that's what I put more focus on as I worked out. Every time was shooting off the dribble, catch and shoot, but mainly threes, because my mid range was good. Growing up, it was just really shooting deeper shots. And I mean, now, like I said, I was going in the gym 3 times a day at Siena, because we could actually get in the gym whenever. But now it's like I could shoot before practice and after practice, and any other time you can't really get, because there's other teams in the gym. It's just different activities, I guess, going on in the gym. So now it's like, in practice, of course, put up a lot of shots. Even if we're scrimmaging, it's like, take the shots that I'm going to take in the game and practice to help me just prepare for games. But definitely got better over the years. But just work ethic, every day, the same routine, just getting reps up.
Is the 3-point line the college line, or a little bit further over there?
Maybe like 2 inches. Not that it's not that big of a difference, but
So it wasn't as big of adjustment for you.
Yeah. And then when I work out though, I try to shoot deeper than I would like in the game, just so in the game, if I'm right on the line, it'll be easier than me shooting in a workout from four steps behind the line. But I think that also helps me, because it gives, like, shooting the ball deeper, you have to actually, like, shoot the ball the same every time, because it's not going to work. You got to use your legs a lot more if it's deep. So, and I was always told that I don't jump on my 3-pointers, which I don't, but it's like, that's just not the way I shoot. I can't jump high just to shoot a 3. Like, that's not me, but I do have to jump, and that helps a lot. But I want to say working out, shooting deeper threes, it helps me in the game when I'm right on the line, like I said.
Speaking of workouts, being from Maryland, what did it mean to be able to work out for the Washington Wizards coming out of college?
That was like, I call that a blessing. Just being able to get a workout from where I'm from, it means a lot. It was a great accomplishment. I wouldn't set anything past it. I got all great feedback. And then the last thing they told me was that I was undersized, which I don't pay any attention to that neither, because it's a lot of people that's undersized in the league that is smaller than me. So I really don't know what that was, but all great feedback. That's what I like to hear, and move on from there and hopefully get another one soon.
Nah, I definitely respect that, and hopefully we can see you in the summer league, and obviously on to the big league from that. Right after that would be definitely pretty cool to say.
Yeah. Hey, the years, the work put in over the years it'll be worth it.
Nah, absolutely. Talk about the process of like selecting an agent. How did that kind of all work out for you, and what's been that relationship like since?
That was actually that was a tough process also, just because I mean, now knowing how it works, it's like back then I didn't, and it's like I'm talking like it's 3 or 4 agents like coming at me, well, not coming at me, but reaching out to me, like they want me to, of course, sign with them, and they could get me here, they could get me there, but it's like, how do I really know? How can I really trust you? I don't know you. It's just, you want me to help you. Like, are you going to help me? But the one agent that I did go with, my parents met him too. So we all kind of thought everything was comfortable and was going to work out. But I don't know. I think it was just the way that he talked to people. He just didn't know how to talk to people. So it didn't really sit right with me throughout the years. But I was with him, my first agent I signed with, I was with him for 2 years. So he got me to Hungary and to Israel. But it's like when I would ask for certain things to be done, it's like he doesn't have my side. It's like he was always with the team. But I know you have to keep your connections with the team for other players and everything like that. But at the same time, an agent works for you.
Yep.
So if I'm telling you something that I want, I expect you to try your hardest to go out and do that. But in that case with him, it wasn't like that. So I just kindly parted ways with him, and I found that, well, I was on the verge of not even coming back overseas. So every agent that was trying to talk to me, even when I was with him, it's like, I'm good. Like, I don't need any help. Like, thanks. I'll keep in contact if I do decide like that I want to continue to hoop. But I actually met an agent that I'm with now in Israel, like after one of my games, and he was telling me like, yeah, like I'm with who was he with? And I always, cause it's Steph Curry agency. I mean, Octagon.
Okay.
So he was with them, and he was like, yeah, excuse me, we see a lot of potential in you. We think you could play high level, Europe, this and that. And it's like, yeah, but I don't even know if I really want to do this right now. And this was when I was going through the Israel situation, and we just lost, I think. And he's like, yeah, like your agent don't really know what he's doing. Like he's more so about the States. He don't really know about Europe, this and that. But it's like, are you saying this because you know, or are you saying it just because you want me? So like, I still didn't know. So I came home and I really just put basketball aside. And I told every agent, like, I'm not interested in going overseas. So a lot of agents, they just stopped contacting me. And I was happy. I was cool with that.
Yeah.
So then the agent that I'm with now, he came out the blue and he said, I have 2 offers for you. And at this time, I'm thinking like, I was already thinking like, yeah, I'm thinking about going back over. And I know I want to do it. I just want to be in a good situation. And when he said that, it's just like, at the time, I'm like, I got to take one of these. And so when he came through with that, it's like, I'm going to go with you. Like, because I told you I didn't want to, and you were still looking for something for me. And that kind of put my trust in him and was like, all right, I'll go with him because he was still thinking about me. He found me 2 offers. Nobody else said anything when I reached out into them and saying like, yeah, I'm thinking about going back over. Nobody came through with nothing. And I didn't even talk to him. So it was just like like I said, a blessing. Being with someone that I can trust, who, if I tell them I want this or I want to go here, I want to go there, it's like he'll try his best to do it and not say, well, I don't think it'll work, or it'll just, he'll try. And that's all I like. But it's still tough just knowing the business side of all of this.
Yeah. I got one more Mac question for you. So obviously you always, as we talked about over and over, you always rise to the occasion. You always play. What were those games like when you were playing against Monmouth and Justin Robinson?
Those were some of the most fun games to me, because I knew that we were going to go at it each time we played. And I want to say my senior year, the first game, I'm not sure if you've seen it, but we was really going back and forth. Like, I hit a 3, he hit a 3. I hit a 3, he missed. I come back down, hit a 3. And that was the whole first half. And we was winning, I want to say, by 3 at halftime. Came out second half and was still up, but we was going up and down. And next thing you know, of course, I got slowed down, started running different plays, and I had 20. I would never forget this ever. And I don't even check my points and see, like, during the game, I don't check my points or anything. But I happened to look up at the scoreboard at one timeout, and it was 15 minutes left in the second half, and I had 28. And I promise you, I said, I'm going for 50. And after that, it was at least 6 possessions where I didn't shoot the ball. And after that, it's just like, I don't know what else I can do to just let me keep going like how I was going in the beginning. And I only finished with 36. So it was always fun playing again. And he finished with 40. But you could see in the game that it was different, like the different teams. Is my team, all right, he scored, now it's my turn to score. And their team is get Justin the ball and let him keep scoring. So it's like, it's nothing I could control. So it is what it is. But if they would have let me keep going, I know for a fact I would have had 50. The way I was playing, I was feeling it. I think I had like 6 threes too that game. But any time playing against him, and I respect him a lot. Those were great times.
What was your career high? Was it against Fordham? That was your sophomore. That was your sophomore year.
That was my sophomore, but that was, I think I had 36 too.
Okay.
Oh no, it was 31. That was 31.
31. Okay.
Yeah, so 36 is my.
It seemed like a lot.
31.
No, like just throughout the course of the game.
Oh yeah, that
Like,
that game was,
yeah, the basket was
and
just open. Keeks was
and
hooping.
we should have won that game
Should
too.
have beat them, bro.
That was crazy. That ending and everything, that was crazy.
Yeah, I definitely want.
But I think 36 was my career high.
Okay. Talk about how your rookie year you got a chance to play against one of your good friends and former teammates Javion in Hungary. Talk about that relationship and talk about what it was like to play versus him this time on the pro side.
Right. I mean, the first game I didn't play, I was hurt.
Okay.
So I actually got to watch him, and I was, of course, not rooting for him, but it's like, all right, I can actually, if he score, I'm like, all right, Jay, like I can do that because I'm on the bench. But the second game we played, it was he really didn't play that much. But it was still cool to play against former college teammate overseas, like being in the same league and playing against each other. That's kind of cool. So it was nice. And then after we took a picture together, the second game when I played, I don't know what happened the first game. I don't even think I seen him after the game the first time, but it was nice. And then he came when I got selected for the All-Star team. He came to the All-Star game,
Okay.
and we got filled in too. So it was nice. Just being across the world with someone that you was real close with.
Yep.
4 years in college, and now you overseas chilling together. It was nice.
So Keith, I'm always curious to know, you've been to a couple of different spots. What is your process of getting a barber and finding a barber out there? Like it's it's nothing like at home or it's nothing like Albany where we connect, but what's the process like over there getting a cut?
So I'm gonna start at Hungry. I didn't get a cut for 10 months.
10 months?
10 months. I actually cut my own. My hair was like this.
Yeah.
So I had clippers, and I actually did this one time, and it was cool, but I couldn't do the back. Like I had to have somebody do the back, and so that was a one-time thing. And then I pushed my hairline back. I'm like, nah, I'm not touching it no more. So 10 months, basically, I went without a cut. I got to Israel, and it's older players and more experienced players that been there maybe 2 years before me, and I had a player on my team that was in Israel for 2 years. That was his third year. So I would ask them, like, are there any barbers that can cut our hair? Like, and so Israel, I found someone, but I didn't really like him.
Okay.
He didn't mess me up, but like, I don't know. I just didn't like the cut there.
Yeah.
France was cool. I found somebody, even though I had to drive 40 minutes away, but it was close. It was close enough to a cut at home. Like, He did a good job. Like, you could see my line. He shaped the beard up. Like, it was a good fade and everything. But then again, it was one time in France, I didn't go to my main barber that was in France, and they messed me up crazy, Rob. Like, how you got the line right here?
Yep.
He cut it off. I was I didn't have no line. It was just bald. Like, and look, that's the first thing he did. So it's not like I could tell him, like, stop. Like, I don't like it. Like, it was gone. Like, it was gone. I was in a chair like this the whole time. Like, and he knew something was wrong. He asked the other dude, and it's like, it was no way he could fix it. So I was like, my shape up went like down, and then like that. Like straight across, and it was just skin. So I was like, nah, I had to let that grow back for like a month. just so it could, like, it was bald, so I couldn't even, like, I'm like, man, I can't get a cut for a month. So once it grew back, I went to my main barber and he fixed me up, so that was good. But it's nothing like going home, getting cuts, and then you got to come out here and find somebody else. But I actually went to 2 different people out here, but the same barber shop.
Okay.
And the first dude, he was cool, but the second dude, he kind of got me. It was cool. I mean, I got this probably like last week, but I don't know. It's
an adjustment.
Really,
sounds like it's an adjustment.
Yeah, it's hard because you can't really call them your barber out here. It's just like, man, I got to get a cut to last me for something, but I don't know. It's cool out here. I actually, next time, whenever I get a cut, I hope it's the last dude that cut me because he did better than the first one. But
okay.
Both of them was cool, but it's just not that at home cut.
Definitely.
No, that brings up a good point. Do you ever see any problem with like the language barrier at any time you've been overseas?
Hungry. It always goes back to my first year. Hungry. Nobody spoke English. Maybe a couple people on my team, and then like the ops the ops worker that worked for Hungry. He a little bit, so like he helped me a little bit. But going to the store or ordering food, it's like Google translators because they don't understand nothing. It was hard to find groceries if I didn't know where it was at.
Okay.
But then Israel, everyone spoke English. France, a little bit of people spoke English, but it was easier than Hungary. Because then when you go to like Paris, was 2 hours away from me. Belgium, they spoke English, so it was cool. It was really only Hungary that they didn't speak English, and like everybody out here in Lithuania speaks English too. So it was really only Hungary, but yeah, I think you got to be lucky to come to a country and everybody speaks English because most of them don't.
So what I'm gathering is you're not going to move to Hungary when you retire.
Oh, never. I don't think I can move overseas. I mean, it's different. It's great experience to actually live out here for 10 months and like just experience different things, but I don't think I can just pick up, be done, retired, and be like, oh yeah, I want to move overseas. I don't. Nah. I'll rather just take trips for like a week and visit every country rather than going somewhere to live.
That is one thing about Keys, Connor. He is a homebody through and through. Any break we had, Keys was trying to get to
going home.
he was in the whip and he was driving home. I'll see y'all later.
I'm gone. Any chance I get to go, even out here, I get give me 3 days because I got a day to get there, a day to get back. I'm gone. I'm gone. It's just nothing like home. And then now I got a crib, so it's like I'm coming home to my crib. Like I only had like a month and a half in my new crib, but it's like I needed it. My family needed it. It wasn't no way I can come over here and then come back to my mom's room, basically. Like the room I had in my mom's house. So it was no chance, but everything fell in place and just follow God's plan.
Perfect. Now, so we're going to go ahead and go to our quick hitters. So just, a couple questions for you. What is there a player that you modeled your game after, like growing up?
Growing up, I would say Iverson.
Mm-hmm.
And then it kind of changed as, of course, the years went on. It was Iverson, Chris Paul, Kyrie. I want to say those are like the main three. Tony Parker back because I'm always a hometown team, so I always liked the Wizards. But that was when like Gilbert was there. But right, but like right after that, or like in the mix of that, I was a San Antonio. Like I love San Antonio. Like them as a team, and Tony Parker. I always loved watching him play. But those are the main like four that I watched growing up.
Who would you say the best player you ever played against was?
The best player I ever played against?
We don't even have to know them. It could be anybody.
I'm trying to think. I mean, because a lot of good players, but I'm trying to think. Oh, Billy Barron was tough, and that's a player I don't know where he's at right now, but he was tough. Brandon Ingram, Grayson, like the Duke team that was like their star players was tough. Justin Robinson, he was tough. AJ English.
Yep.
I can't forget about him, and I always respected his game.
That's facts.
But I'm trying to think pro wise. I played against what's his name in Israel? Jeremy Pargo, yeah. He was tough. I'm trying to more I just played I played against in Israel also. He played with the Heat. He was a Cook. What's Daquan Cook?
Okay. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He was tough. I played against Stoudemire, but he washed up. But it was a lot of good guards in Israel. And now we played against Chris McCollum.
Yep.
What's his name? Andrew Goodluck.
Yep.
And it was one more, Demetrius Jackson, but he was hurt.
Oh yeah.
But I got 3 more times to play against them, so we'll see how that goes.
Nah, that's definitely what's up. Do you have any pregame rituals or superstitions that you have to do before the game or to start your day?
I have to eat breakfast, and I have to take a nap. But like I said, my family's here, it's like it's more like I'm up more. So throughout the day, if I don't take a nap, I'll still be good for the game. But most of the time, I need my nap, and then I have to take a pregame. Yeah. I have before every game, I gotta use the bathroom.
For sure.
What's the best arena you've ever been to or played in?
Overseas?
Just in anywhere, college, high school, overseas.
I would say Cameron Indoor because of the atmosphere and everything, and Kansas. Also, overseas, it wasn't really that many like arenas that was really like wow, like. So I would say Cameron Indoor and Kansas were like the two like the best arenas I played at. Also, Comcast, I can't forget about that.
Yeah.
At Maryland. That's a real nice gym. And I played there a couple of times. But overseas, they don't really. It's some that's nice, but it's nothing that I haven't seen already. Siena was like most of the. I would say like Siena is bigger than most of these gyms out here, and Siena was definitely a great place to play too. That arena, I loved it.
Nothing like playing at the TU, dog. Nothing like playing at the TU.
Nah, not at all.
What who do you think the best Siena player ever is, in your opinion, to come through the program?
Ever me.
Hey, I like it.
Ever me.
I like the confidence.
Love it.
Who would be one player at Siena that you didn't get to play with that you would like to have?
One player?
Yeah, it could be past, could be present.
I would say Kenny Hasbrook, because he's from basically where I'm from, and I just know that connection on the court, off the court. I know we would have been like this if I played with him. So,
K Hash. Did you ever play in the summer with him? Right? He'll come up. You would play pickup with us, right?
Yeah, pickup. But the season would have been different. Like in the game, But nah, we played pickup with him a couple times. Yeah,
for sure. We're still new to the podcast. Episode 8 of season 1. We've had some great guests. Name someone affiliated with Siena basketball, whether it's a manager, coach, fan, whatever it is that you love to see as a guest on the show.
Can I name more than one?
Oh, please do.
So I'm gonna say Jay.
Yep.
Wesley. You gotta have, and I need to be in there when he's on there too.
You gotta put Wesley. You on plus someone.
Wesley. And I would say Lucius. Coach Lou. Coach Lou.
Yeah, Wesley's gotten that's his second shout out because he got one other.
For real?
Yep, it's the second person that's asked for him. So he's definitely on the list. We're gonna probably not till next season, but we're gonna definitely have him on.
That's cool. I'm gonna be tuned in.
Sure. No, we definitely appreciate your time. Thanks again for joining us. We wish you all the luck in Lithuania. We hope you have a great season. Everything with your new child, everything goes well with it. Don't forget to subscribe on wherever you listen to podcasts and on our YouTube official page to stay up to date on the latest with the podcast. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.